Today on Upfront, Wisconsin's on-again, off-again voter ID law. Is the fight finally over? Next, Attorney General Brad Schimel on implementation of voter ID and whether opponents have another card to play. Then a congressional field hearing on the Toma VA drug scandal. Congressman Sean Duffy on what he expects to happen there tomorrow. And a new home for the Milwaukee Bucks. Is the governor's state bonding plan all but dead or still in play?
Covering the issues important to Wisconsin. This is Up Front with Mike Goucher.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Up Front. It's been a long, costly court battle, but it appears that the fight over voter ID is finally over. Or is it? Last week, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear a challenge to the law, which requires voters to show a photo ID. That cleared the way for the law to be implemented, but not in time for the April 7th election. Backers of the law call it a common sense reform, but opponents signal they may not be ready to give up the fight. We're talking about this and other matters today with Wisconsin's Attorney General Brad Schimel. Mr. Attorney General, good to have you on the program.
Thank you, Mike. Good to be here.
So you said once April 7th is passed, for future elections, this has been decided, this is over, voter ID will be the law.
It's been to the highest court in Wisconsin. It's been to the highest court in the U.S. It is done. It's decided.
So when the ACLU says, hey, there could be other challenges based on different legal theories, we're not sure this is over, you say?
You know, the Supreme Court doesn't make decisions with the intention of leaving all sorts of loopholes and opportunities to challenge their decision. This has been looked at carefully. If there were arguments that these groups had to make, they should have made them when the case went up the first time.
Did you give any thought, any serious thought to having this law in effect for April 7th?
You know, not once we got past early February, because once it was time to start mailing out absentee ballots, it was impossible. We would have been in the very same position we were in last fall when the Supreme Court imposed that first injunction, where once absentee ballots are in people's hands without the instructions for them to send in voter ID or a photo ID with their ballot, you can't go back and redo that.
Do you think that the law could still be tweaked in any way? I noticed in the last week the ACLU said we would like to see more forms of identification used in terms or allowed in the state of Wisconsin. Is that something that could present itself, do you think?
Well, I think they should go to the legislature and try to get those changes done. But that's where the law needs to be changed now.
I want to talk about the events of the past week. A tragic story with the state trooper who was killed, first solo shift that he was on, 21 years old. Your office is investigating. What do you hope to learn with that investigation?
Well, we need to just put all the pieces together and understand everything that happened that day, everything that led up to it. Sometimes there are things that law enforcement can learn from examining these situations carefully, and we're always trying to find ways to keep our law enforcement officers safer.
Do we know anything more about the suspect's background in this Snyder, who's from Michigan? Some hints that maybe he had a neo-Nazi past. Do we know anything more about him?
You know, there's still, that information is still being investigated. It's a little early for me to start talking about that bigger picture right now.
Let's talk about a different investigation. This is the one involving the fatal shooting in Madison, police officers shooting Tony Robinson to death. Your office has been looking at that.
We have.
You turned over your investigation to the Dane County DA on Friday. Give us a sense, give viewers a sense of the scope of this investigation, if you could.
Well, you know, just that very first day, the first 24 hours, we had about, I think there were 29 agents and crime lab specialists out there at the scene gathering evidence. There were hundreds of interviews of individuals that took place to try to piece together any piece of information that was out there. We wanted to make sure we found it all. It's possible now that, you know, as the DA looks at it with another set of eyes, that the DA will find something else that he wants examined, and we'll do that at his request. But we think we've given him a pretty thorough, capable, and reliable investigation.
You said there will be no recommendation from your office on whether charges should be filed. Why not?
Right. We'd be interfering with the DA's job doing that. He's got the decision to make, and that's what he was elected to do in Dane County. So we shouldn't be interfering with his discretion.
You've talked about the need for transparency in this case. You
Yes.
got a lot of people very interested in how the investigation was done, what was learned. When will these documents be public?
Well, if the DA declines to issue a charge against the officer, then we'll be releasing those reports to the family immediately, and we'll be then releasing them in public records requests as well.
A couple of people, commentators in Madison, have said, could this perhaps be a jumping off point for a larger discussion? I think during the campaign you and I talked about the black incarceration rate in this state, and some people think maybe this is the time now to have a conversation that's a little larger in scope. Is it time for that kind of conversation?
Well, those conversations are happening every day. You know, everyone in public safety and criminal justice is keenly aware of the problems. The difficulty we have is that many of the reasons why so many young black men are ending up getting locked up in our prison system are things that the criminal justice system isn't very good at solving. We can't do much to help increase the graduation rates in MPS. We can't do very much to change teen pregnancy rates. All of those things are part of this that end us up where we are. You know, I think some of the best things Wisconsin could do is make sure we have family supporting jobs for as many people as we can, so that they can have a better alternative than having to turn to crime to support their families. We need to take care of the drug problems that we have, because that is destroying young people, and it is disproportionately affecting minority communities.
I only got about 30 seconds left, but give us a brief update on your plan, the state's plan, to challenge these new EPA emission rules that you say would be damaging to Wisconsin business. Where does that stand?
Well, we'll find out the final rule midsummer. That's when the EPA has indicated they'll do that. If that rule is not dramatically different than what they announced preliminarily last June, we're going to have to face a lawsuit against the EPA. We'll be challenging their authority to use the congressional rules or statutes this way, and we're going to challenge the disproportionate harm to the state of Wisconsin. We stand to be hurt more than many other states if this goes into effect.
So you're preparing for that eventuality, what you think will happen, the
Yes.
likelihood of that. All right. Attorney General Brad Schimel, a lot to talk about. Wish we had more time, but we do appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you, Mike.
You bet. Coming up next, several members of Wisconsin's congressional delegation head to Tomah for a field hearing tomorrow. I'll be asking Congressman Sean Duffy what he expects to happen there. And later, is a plan for the state to bond to help build a new arena in Milwaukee in trouble?
Up Front with Mike Goucher, brought to you by the American Transmission Company and the Wisconsin Corn Growers Association.